Okay. Looks like we are live. Gonna go ahead and send them notice. Okay. Alright. Good deal. Got the notice out of the way. Go ahead and also bring up the chat in another window so that way I just have it at my leisure. And we move. I think level was up here. That looks like it is, hopefully. Oh, I guess that was a secret up there. Oh, no, I can't do that. Definitely missing something that should be very obvious. Ah, just jump around, I got it. Oh. Is there a secret here? Not sure. Oh, maybe it's whatever that is right there. Probably what it is. You just gotta pull that string. Yep. Oh, those guys are moving. Not bad. I guess I just use you as a platform. Brought you to life and awoken you just so that way I could use you for convenient platforming. "43 years, I'm in a mid-Twitch crisis." Oh no. Oh, gee, yellow. Yo, hopefully you're doing good today, despite having a crisis. Yo, hopefully, again, you've been having a good one today. I know you are probably also in a frantic rush for your video that you're working on. But, of course, I hope that has been going well, too. Oh my gosh. Good night. Hey, your balloons went out too fast. I actually ran out of time to grab those. That is very disappointing. At least I'm pretty sure I did. That where I really just was not paying attention. Oh, you know what? Oh, this Waddle Dee popped me out of the way. Excuse you, I have important treasures to miss 3 times before I get it. Well, I'm sure that you have also been playing a little bit of Zelda, Crying of the U. Because you're crying because of all of the time that has probably been dumped into the game. If I had to guess, I'm probably more than halfway through Tears of the Kingdom at the moment. I've definitely finished up a lot, but there's like more that I want to do before I say I'm finished with the game. So, Drops of the Dynasty, as per your PAX video, get it right. No, I mean, we're talking about a different game though. That game is coming out for Nintendo's next console. That one's not. Also tragic. I missed the thing by literally like a pixel. That's actually the sequel. It's actually the sequel in the trilogy for Zelda. They showed the third game coming out, even though the second one wasn't even out yet. Pretty bold marketing strategy, I know, but you know, Tears of the Kingdom has been doing pretty well, so I'm really excited for Drops of the Dynasty too. The least divisive Kirby game with no negative reception whatsoever. I don't know if that's sarcasm, but I mean, genuinely, like, this game is pretty just like, oh yeah, it was good. I mean, was it like stupid easy? Yeah, but I mean, it's not like a bad game. At least a year to beat the new Zelda game. Good luck with that. Oh, just like touching it with the yarn whip, also just absolutely awesome. Okay. Duly noted. I think this game is pretty good or rotten to the core. Is it really that divisive? I mean, like, there are some, like, pretty weird Kirby games out there. For them to just do, like, a slightly different platformer just with less focus on copy abilities. Like, I mean, this... To me, this was never, like, a bad game. It was just like, oh yeah, that's good. Like, is it my favorite Kirby game? No, because, I mean, it kind of departs from, you know, what modern Kirby is, but I also don't think that that's to its... I don't think that should necessarily be the, like, only... Yeah, let's just skip the thing to this guy thing. I don't think that should be such a detriment, considering the fact that, I mean, it's a very well-rounded game. It's just that, you know, for most people, it's not what they wanted, so... A game where you cannot fail is this fundamentally divisive idea. Add down the fact that this is the first console Kirby platformer since the N64. Okay, but then we got, like, the actual Kirby platformer that everybody wanted, like, not even, like... What was it? A year later? I literally have the Wikipedia article open. I can just look at it. Dadgummit. So, speaking about that, can't die. A year later, see, like, I mean, the people got what they wanted. It wasn't like they had to wait, like, 3 more years for a Kirby game to come out. Kirby fans are freaking, are spoiled, bro. And I'm one of them. Sometimes we get, like, multiple releases a year, and we're like, oh my god, bro, dude, where's my next Kirby game? Yeah, I was about to say, like, look, you may not care about Super Kirby Clash, but you cannot say that there was not a Kirby game that, like, released, like, that year. You are getting some kind of Kirby content with a K. You're getting something from the pink puff. May not be what you want, but I mean, hey. I think that's something I don't mind about Kirby either, is that in a lot of cases, they can decide to be experimental with Kirby, and in a lot of cases, they're just turning out good. Doesn't have to be excellent or anything amazing. One positive thing I have to say is that the animations are ungodly clean. Oh no, this game is, like, incredibly, like, polished visually. Like, so ridiculously good. In the moment, it felt pretty bad for a lot of people. No, and I completely understand that. I mean, and for me, I think I probably look on this game pretty much with about the same light as I did when it originally came out. I was like, oh yeah, that was fun. Am I, like, going to put this in my top 10 Kirby games? Probably not. But I mean, the game is largely inoffensive despite it, you know, again, not being probably what most people wanted. But I don't think the game is, like, so flawed to the point where it's like some modern day games, let's just say, where they come out and they're literally just, like, close to garbage. Yo, quit! Wait, whoa! Okay, I was just like, alright, dude, there's, like, one... I saw one person resubbed. Oh, that's cool. No! Chris! Okay, thank you for the, five gifties. Which, you know, I'm gonna acknowledge this too. Freaking 90 total on the channel. What the fuck? Must lurk, dude. Double man. Enjoy your lurk. Hopefully, we have some nice talks. Yo, Lando! Yeah, dude, the epic sweep, the Corbo sweep, as it were. An island belonging to Yellow, a cat belonging to Lando. Y'all so silly. But thank you, Chris, for the gifted subs. It means a lot. First off, again, hopefully you've had a good day today, and appreciate the support. As for you, I like Huey's Flank Steak Twitch, Dizzy from Kirby fan, Supreme Lord Enter, and Peekback. Enjoy all subs. I'm sure Josh is probably like, what the hecky darn, because he was probably gonna renew his Twitch Prime. But now he can just use it for somebody else. Like Mr. Fire Dragon. Or someone else. Doesn't have to be Fire Dragon, but that's who I recommend. I thought everyone loved Super Kirby Quad for like they should. I think they really liked the idea until they saw that it was all primarily like structured like a mobile game. And they were like, oh, okay, well that's unfortunate. Pause the game. I can't pause the game. We're too busy watching Squid cutscene. Too busy watching Splatoon. Chris, my guy, what are you doing? What is this? Why are you going? What is this? Yo, Pixie, nice getting that sub gifted. Chris is going off tonight for some reason. Chris now getting ever so closer and gifting a tier 1 sub to Confused Person, NKFGC, Kokoro Yamazaki, Roman Taruki, and Pixie, who is in chat with us right now. Chris, thank you for 5 more subs. Again, that's far more than necessary. You know, you have your own sub you can just take care of, and that's cool with me. But I do appreciate the support a whole lot. It does mean a lot. Again, genuinely, hopefully you have a good day today, and hopefully you've been enjoying some Monster Hunter and Pokemon Unite. I've seen you been playing Pokemon Unite a good bit. Not for me, but as long as you enjoyed it. Are you going to cover Super Kirby Flash during the marathon? That's a really good question. I don't really intend to, but gotta eat my food, so I'm just gonna head out. Dude, no problem. Don't worry about it. Do appreciate you coming by, and again, you'll have some Kirby emotes to use, so enjoy those, and enjoy your foods. Take care. I mean, we could probably do like a short stream, but I'm not gonna like complete the whole thing because, again, most of it is literally time-based, so you just have to... Okay, I just got yoinked. Oh, yo, get better butter! You're telling me I can't struggle out of the way? Officially on the struggle bus right now. We're getting them. Oh, he's bigger. He's better. Bro. I'll say, we're doing this again, where it's like I'm right next to the thing and you're not gonna let me. his noggin got exposed, and now he's a octopus. Oh, my bow. Oh, I went after the star things, and then they just immediately ran into the way of this guy. Quite unfortunate, if I do say so myself. 24-hour stream of Clash. You mean Clash Royale? So that way I can get sponsored and get like millions of dollars in sponsorships? I actually got a sponsorship thing from like Streamlabs. I'm like, okay, this is probably getting sent out to everybody, but I mean, it is kind of cool to just kind of see it come through. It's like, oh my god, it's like what a normal Twitch streamer would do. No, yeah, no. It would, in the title, actually be hashtag sponsored stream. And like, I have no idea really what the game is. I've seen, like, the name of it is like, oh, I could, you know, that's a brand I recognize.
We got the magic yarn.
But I was also like, I have no idea what the gameplay of this is. If I had to guess, it's probably a gacha, which, gachas, giveth and taketh away in so many ways. So.
The yarn weaved its way into the fabric of the kingdom and stitched two pieces of patch land together.
Uh-oh, King Day Today is getting raided by Yarn Bees.
It appeared that Yin Yarn's Waddle Dee imposters had captured all of the real Waddle Dees. You can't be mean to my Waddle Dees. Only I can be mean to my Waddle Dees.
I don't know if it was literally just my memory or me finishing the game's line for it, but I was exactly like, only I can be mean to my Waddle Dees.
Uncle.
They're just like,
And in
okay,
no time, they had
so actually what he just said.
Wrapped up like a birthday present. Only one more
hello,
step and
Papyrus.
Dreamland will be mine.
Oh, no, he
What
says,
an honor
yeah,
to have a
sorry.
king serving me.
Ruin the Undertale
Yin
lore.
Yarn's sock began to glow and sucked King DDD right inside. Dreamland will be mine. Not sure what I'll do with it, but I'll figure something out.
Dude doesn't even have a plan. He's just like, all right, I will conquer.
The very fabric of Dreamland.
No one can say this game is bad when the narrator exists. The narrator is excellent for this game because they literally just read it like a storybook, which, I mean, it very much fits the aesthetic for the game. Gotta clap for that one, you know. Not really, I would say a huge surprise, but still very well themed. Yo, is that the One Piece? Alright, moving on. Oh, great. This is like that one song that appears in every Kirby playlist. It's like very relaxing Kirby songs to listen to. And then this one appears in every Nintendo Christmas themed playlist. Okay, there is a thing up there. You're right. No, I mean, honestly, like, honest to God. I've listened to them. I'm not judging. I'm just making an observation. No, I'm having flashbacks. Good flashbacks, right? Good ones. I can see the thumbnail too. I mean, I'm just saying because it's true. It is not an insult or anything like that. I'm frozen. That didn't even take away my stuff. Yo, maybe this game is easy. Maybe people are on something. I can't get them. At least not from there. Oh. First you what'll be. Big bear bed. Okay. There's. You know what? Here's a good hypothetical question, and I wish Doubleman was here, and I may re-ask it when well, not when, if they come back and chat. Would you want to see a Kirby's Epic Yarn 2 at all in the future? Almost in the same vein as Yoshi. Because I'm sure, like, it probably had to have been in some talks. Okay. I want to go back and grab the treasure that was up there. It wasn't worth it. Because I think after probably like most of the learning experience they've had, and having it be less of this kind of 2D platformer and maybe making it the same vein as like Yoshi, where it's like kind of more 2.5D focused. Like I think that it is definitely be possible. And I'm sure that from working on Yoshi for all that time, that they definitely learned a lot that they would probably want to integrate into Kirby if they made a second game for Epic Yarn. Nostalgia for Epic Yarn's too far off. Like, I mean, genuinely, because when I heard that they were making extra Epic Yarn, I'm like, who in the right mind is like thinking of this game? Like, of all games, oh my gosh, they literally caught me off guard. It was just something so random. And like, not that I was super dissatisfied with it or anything like that, but I was just really like, who is this for? And I'm trying to remember if they got a developer to port the game or if Goodfeel actually worked on that 3DS version, because I know that there was also the Yoshi's game for 3DS. Like, you know, again, part of me is thinking, oh, well, they have experience with working with the hardware before and, you know, literally made a remake of Epic Yarn, you know, just with different functionality, which, you know, give or take, figure, you know, people say whether or not any of it was really worth warranting it, but you know what I mean. How do you want to buy me extra Epic Yarn for $100? No. Riz, thank you for the hand stretches. I think those were probably about a minute back, but good time to go ahead and take care of it at the end of the level. I've also got to like let this cutscene play too, so. Look at him dance. Kirby's not doing hand stretches, but he was exercising. Mans was literally skipping rope. Oh my gosh, everybody, Ikkrama. It's gonna be just like Sandy Claus. I guess I ruined that. I think I just need to unravel and not like roll them up into a ball. Oh, the ceiling is trying to collapse in on me. That's not very Christmas-like. Don't remember that Christmas story. Christmas tradition. I don't think that happened to Jesus. Oh no, not again. Pretty obvious that's what I need to do, and I'm just like, oh my god, what is it? Oh, if you just touch that at all, it does that? Okay, well that sucks. That wasn't even like a Kirby crush rule or anything, where I like got crushed by something. No, it literally just said, alright, you got too close. Now you must perish. Well, I am quite dissatisfied by that. Chimney. I think just getting back on topic of the potential, if theoretically, Nintendo did decide to come out with a sequel to Epic Yarn, since Good Feel obviously has been working, literally worked on the game like not too long ago with a re-release. I do think that probably they would try and implement copy abilities in some way, because I don't dislike copy abilities being missing from this game. I mean, obviously, I feel like that's what most people associate with and kind of have it as its identity. You know, one of the very few games where Kirby just doesn't have copy abilities. But it kind of shows that they can really mimic and also be faithful with the design of like an old game that they are trying to like replicate, aka Yoshi's Island. So, like, for sure, I think that's something I would like to see, like them actually implement copy abilities, and you know, it would be something more in canon with like the thing, because it's like, oh well, Kirby can't swallow anything, and it's like, okay, well, he can literally just like recreate himself out of yarn that gives him like the copy abilities. Like, that makes just as much sense. He could literally be a yellow Kirby and have the cutter ability. It's like, or a Kirby with yellow yarn, and that's like your cutter. Even better, what if like the color just like, or that specific yarn just like twirled around the base of Kirby? So like, you had like a pink and yellow combo of Kirby, and you had a pink and purple combo of Kirby, stuff like that. Like the yarn is intertwined. I think there is just a lot of theming there that could also just take advantage of. Sounds like a great YouTube idea. Yeah, why don't you go ahead and do that? just scratch the video you're making now and new video idea. Kirby's Epic Yarn 2. The worst part is that I have genuinely had like 2 video ideas like the past 3 days. And I'm like, oh, well, those aren't gonna happen anytime soon. And I don't know if it's like the YouTube algorithm or whatever, like listening in on me, but somebody actually made not like a counter video, but I assume that it was like also something that like a lot of people had just been talking about on social media and just like things in forums in general, stuff like that. And it was like that video, but it was like the opposite opinion. Well, and I was just imagining myself like making the video and then being like, if you would like to hear about this from another person's perspective, here, go watch this video. I thought it was a really enlightening piece of information. Like, the point of this video is not to counter that video, but just to make aware more information, in case you do think a separate way. And I'm just like, again, that's not happening anytime soon. Doesn't align with my brand values. Yeah. Is that so? No, I missed the futon or whatever that was. It's like you get caught up in about other people already conveying your ideas. No, I'm not like complaining about that one, because again, I think that that's actually, I think any piece where it's like somebody taking a different stance or looking at something differently, especially when it comes to like game design and stuff, I think it's always really fascinating. Yes, I do compare my work to a lot of other people's stuff, and if I ever see a video where it's like, oh, they've literally already covered this, I'm just like, there's no reason for me to make it. That is normally my default thought process. But no, and again, I enjoyed that person's video. I think they did a great job. Do I still really agree? I can understand their point of view, but also that video was made like a couple months before like where we're at now. And I'm still like, I felt this way before and I still feel this way now. So, maybe one day, maybe. Gotta overcome that hurdle, my guy. Yeah, the hurdle, here's me, and then here's like the hurdle, and like the hurdle I'm running towards it, and then I just like, I don't even like lift a leg or anything like that to try it to like, you know, just slowly get over it or something like that. No, I'm still here, and I just kick it, I walk away. Best visual representation I can give for that. Just like, this, my thought process is, oh, this takes work and effort, but somebody else is already taking care of it. Oh, well, what's the point of me doing it? That's fine. I will forcefully encourage you. Yellow, maybe one day it'll work. We'll see. I never want to say never, because again, I've been doing content creation for so long. Of course, that goes even outside Twitch and even outside what most of y'all know about. Like me creating like content on the platform way before I was Mr. Born a Brawler. But yeah. Which, by the way, our old camcorder was unearthed, and there are some of my original videos, like original channel that was made that are still on that. And my mom was like, oh, well, you know, obviously we don't want to like delete these or anything, right? And I'm like, yeah. And there was part of me that was like, I wonder if I should go back and watch these. Cause it is like, what would it have been? I probably would have been like 11 years old, 12 years old maybe. Very young. Archive them. I mean, I'm definitely not going to be like, okay, just delete them from the ether. No one shall ever find these. Because, I mean, there's part of me that regrets deleting my old, like, my very old channel. But, I mean, at the same time, I know if I went back, I would be cringing out of my mind because none of my videos were good. And I can say that very confidently. They were not good. It was a lot of Let's Play content with, like, no unique substance. I was doing it because I liked Proton John and Chugga Conroy and Josh Jepson and Attacking Toucans and a lot of other people. And I said, I want to do that too, and so I did. You never know. About my old content being good? No, I'm certain. No, that's something I'm very certain about. Don't have to think twice about that. Prove it? No, this is just your excuse to be like, oh, well, I'll just, you know, help here review them. And then on the, like, immediate... in the immediate off chance that my content was better when I was younger, I'd immediately be like, what the heck am I doing right now? It would be like... complete reverse. No, I would never do that. I don't believe you. But I mean, again, like, video ideas will always come to my mind every so often. And Tears of the Kingdom, obviously I've thought about making a video on it for some facets. Primarily like how the gameplay loop has changed from Breath of the Wild to this game. What they prioritize, what I think was excellent changes. And why this might actually be one of my favorite Zelda games now. Like, maybe top 3. Because Breath of the Wild wasn't even in top 3. I enjoyed it, and I think that experience was truly one of a kind. But I still have so much of a favoritism towards, like, classic Zelda. But this one, it does so much different from Breath of the Wild while still keeping a lot of the core values I feel that OG Zelda has. But then again, I would literally just be re-speaking what most everybody else is talking about. So I'm like, well, why would I make a video? Arlo's gonna make a video about it. It may take him like 4 years to do it when he does his big fat review, but I mean... It's just true. Oh no, King Day today, he got hit and is now going to be mind controlled. Except not really mind controlled, he's just got like stuff stitched to him. There's always room for one more. Yeah, Michael would say that. He's the king of one mores and fighting games. Oh, this arena is much larger than I thought. Oh, did I need to grab one of those things? I think I did. Yes, oh Michael. There we go. Okay, I was right. I was like, there is some information that I am missing here. Very essential information. Oh, that is a giant shockwave that I just barely dodged. Oh, I guess that was another opportunity for me to do the slam down. Lay a smack down on him. Oh, he angry. Oh, jeez. Oh, he's not creating any more stars. Okay, I thought there would be like multiple chances. No. Oh, I probably could have gotten that there. Like when you did the blue shockwave, I bet you anything you could like whipped in and swirled it up. I won't think about that though. Very nice. We
did it! We got the magic yarn! The magic yarn shimmered and spiraled and swirled high into the sky.
Alright, I'm pretty sure this is the next to
The
last
yarn
world.
weaved its way into the fabric of the kingdom and stitched two pieces of patch land together.
Yay! Uh-oh, it's Metaconite.
Meanwhile, in the sky above Dreamland,
Oh. Meta-Knight,
on the
gonna have
battleship Halberd,
some
Meta
good
Knight
words.
had noticed some strange changes in the landscape. Patches and stitching everywhere. What monster would do such a thing? Just then, a powerful
Dang.
laugh filled the sky around him.
Not a fan of patchwork, I guess.
What? Who goes
And
there?
arts and
Yin
crafts.
Yarn crashed onto the deck and completely ambushed
I need
Meta
fan
Knight.
art of Meta Knight
Mind if I
changing
suck
his
it to
ways
ya?
and then being... Sorry, I'm interrupting the story and the amazing jokes.
And
Like,
just like
I'll
that,
sock it to
Meta
you.
Knight was gone. Now Yin Yarn had Dreamland all to himself. Yeah.
I need reformed Meta Knight
Yin Yarn's
doing
victory
some
all sewn
crocheting.
up. Did this mean the end of Dreamland?
Yep, literally get... Well, I guess it's not from Terminal Montage, but it's that one he uses, the disgusting! Spaceland! Alright, Pingu, get out here. Even though we're not gonna play your level. Not quite that Pingu guy, but maybe some relatives. It's cousins. I'm glad to know that they got a cool cameo in this game. Maybe Pingu will get his big break someday. Oh, there's an elevator that I have to stand on for it to move. Gotcha. Same with this. There's a platform that I have to get on to not die. Gotcha. This level is so rude. I mean, it's been fine so far. I've just been very unobservant when it comes to the gimmicks and everything. Oh my goodness, is that a flying saucer? Yes. I was actually not sure when I said that. I was like, wait, what part of these would be flying saucers? Oh, I'm dead. Alright, I can see why you say it'd be rude now. Dropped off once. Nope, you're going back to the beginning. I guess there's nothing up there. Oh my gosh. Okay. I wanted to jump off the Waddle Dee's head and that just didn't happen, and so I floated to doom. The doom that would await me. Okay, you decided not to hit the blocks that were right in front of you and went for the Waddle Dee that was just minding his own beeswax over there. Alright. Got it. I knew at some point that it was gonna come back, but I was like, Oh, it's not like doing anything, so we'll probably be fine. Nope. Just too soon. I need you for destruction. I don't know if I need you for destruction, but we've taken care of that. Epic. Got to wait for the elevator. I'm getting too antsy. Is this where I become UFO Kirby? Yes. Yoink. 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 Oh, you're telling me I can't get this man? No, I'm losing all of my hard-earned thingamabobs. Worked so hard for these thingamabobs. Just played like 20 games of Guilty Gear, not a single dub. You mean like online or versus a CP? Because I know before you said that you were primarily just fighting the CPUs. You weren't doing online. And the one time you tried online, it was like awful. It was not what you would say good. It's not, as the people would say, cash money. Played Cody and got bopped by a 5-year-old for 20 plus games. A 5-year-old? Is that May? Am I genuinely trying to think of what character you're talking about? Oh, yes, Sin. He doesn't look 5 at all, but yeah, he's an oldie for some reason. The gears age very weird. So, you know what? I'm not gonna fault myself there. I never played against Sin before. Oh, well, yeah, because neither me or Josh has the second pass. So, I mean, makes sense. I did think about playing Sin, though. Of all of, like, the Season 2 characters, he was probably, like, the one I gravitated towards the most. I'm losing everything. And I can't go back, even though I opened that secret pathway. Because I had to reclaim all of my other crap that I was trying to get. Because I just wanted to play the game. Ugh. Very riveting gameplay. Oh, I've got to wait. Almost did it begin. Oh, there's 2 of them. They're just strong. I mean, not like I'm going to probably get a gold on this, because I've lost way too many beads already, but, you know, we can try at least. Oh. 8. Got the music for Future City. Oh. That was not death. Thank God. Oh my gosh, I did it! Yeah, all I know is, like, Sin has, like, a meat meter that he uses to, like, power up his moves and stuff. Or not a meter, I think he just has, like, a certain number of, like, meats he can, like, eat and then just, like, power up his moves. Kind of like EX specials, I guess, in other fighting games. He has a stamina meter. Yeah, I think that's what that kind of refers to. You would think being a youngin', he'd have all the stamina he needs. Anyways. I can slightly puzzle solve. Oh yay! It's a bomb. Got to explode at 3. Get that over here. Oh. I guess I need to do that before wrapping up the water bead. No, wait, that was a good thing, I think. Yes, okay. You and your Hadokens. It's a tad close, but we got it. Oh, come on, bro. Oh. I needed to go back that way anyways. So, blessing in disguise, I guess. I'm sure I probably need to keep that again, but too late. Okay, that is the platform that moves. is solid. Got it. I forgot one of Kirby's core abilities was Pancake. The arrows are telling me to go that way, so I'm gonna go this way. At least long enough to see what this is. That's what some treasure. Ow. Almost let myself get crushed. Unfortunate. Again, not that I needed any more beads, but... Nice. Double nice. Actually, triple nice. Well, guys sleeping on the left. Alright, chat, we are an hour into stream, which of course is a good time as ever to say, please stay hydrated. Very important for you. Grabbing yourself some water is what I recommend, but tea or juice will also suffice. Make sure you're having something to drink, my friends. And I really need to take my own advice at work because I have probably not been drinking up as much water at work as I should. Oh, I remember this level being like pretty fun with all the gravity stuff. Keep moving. And there's probably the switch down here if I do this. Oh! That was really quick to backfiring. I guess almost backfiring. It didn't quite backfire, but... Oh, that's actually coming out that way. Damn it. Oh, space food? When I think of that, I only really think of like the weird space food that was in Miitopia. Which I say weird, but I mean, it pretty much was just like actual space food. Like, in those like little kept containers. That way it was properly poisoned. I'm going to die. Oh, you know what? It was a really good talking topic that I did not think of at all. Did anybody watch the, I believe it was a State of Play today? For PlayStation? I caught wind of a little bit. It was happening while I was at work, and I really only saw, like, probably the last quarter of it. And, the first thing I saw when I stepped in, or I think it was Fire Dragon. Fire Dragon was, like, watching it live. And, I specifically, like, tabbed over, and they were showing, like, their portable console. And I was like, okay, I mean, that's kind of cool, I guess. And I was thinking to myself, I'm like, I really wonder, though, like, obviously, you know, people will say, like, oh, well, it's gonna be, like, way more powerful than the Switch. And then I think in, like, whatever press interview was done for it, they confirmed, oh, yeah, it's actually for streaming. So, you're not gonna be able to play the games on your console. You'll just be, streaming them from, like, your PS5 or from, like, one of our servers, wherever you're, like, you know, whatever game it is you own. It's like, wow, that is so underwhelming, and I can't believe that companies are still doing this after there have been, like, 5 failed attempts in a row. Like, honestly, it doesn't make any sense. But I think, what was it they ended on? Was the Spider-Man 2 trailer. And, like, I'm already really biased for Spider-Man, so, I mean, game was gonna look good to me. But I haven't even played the first Spider-Man, which is pretty, like, blasphemous. Because I definitely should have, given that it's been, like, what? Oh my god, I think it's almost been 5 years since that game came out. Anyways, don't want to think about that. I haven't played any of the new Spider-Man games, but this one, looking freaking crisp. And again, maybe like one of the reasons why I did actually decide to buy a PS5. Because right now, really, it's looking like Final Fantasy 16, Spider-Man 2, Kingdom Hearts 4, whenever that comes out in 2028, and what was the other game? I guess it didn't leave that much of an impression if I can't remember it. But I also saw that there was a Metal Gear announcement for it, including a re-release of the old games. And immediately I had the thought, and everybody else on Twitter is sharing the thought, where it's like, okay, I don't want to, like, undermine how cool this is, because I do feel like a lot of the Metal Gear games do deserve a remake of some kind. I literally combined the two words of remake and deserve. But, is Kojima actually involved? Or, are they literally just doing it because, like, that's the easy thing to get people back in, like, their good graces? Because Konami still pretty much sucks. Like, we have not been given much reason to, like, give them the benefit of the doubt. Because of, like, how they've really rested on their laurels for the gaming industry and how they really, really, really just screwed over Kojima. Like, if I... Oh, okay, I'm just bad at platforming. If I had to guess, it's probably not going to be the case that Kojima will be involved, which is pretty underwhelming, because again, he put so much love, care, and attention in those games, it feels like he ought to have the right to have the creative liberties to help recreate those. We don't know, so I mean... Literally, like, in the next, like, month or two, we can hear Kojima Productions also helping co-produce the game. And it's like, oh, well, that's good. I hope they're not treating him like actual garbage this time. My last waking hour to wind down and play Drops of the Dynasty. As you should, Yellow, as you should. But that's pretty surprising how you actually got the trilogy. Yeah, the third sequel. It's actually pretty surprising how you got that. Must be all that clout from the YouTube you've gotten. Got you a really early copy from Nintendo. Don't have a attachment to Konami besides maybe DDR. I really don't have one either. I think my sister probably would have a much more nostalgic view of Konami, but the thing is like, she loved the Metal Gear games too, so she's very aware of like the really poor company practices for as of like, you know, the past couple years. Hasn't just been like, you know, oh, like, you know, a couple months ago they did some bad stuff. No, I mean, it's just like, overall they've been pretty sucky. And really the one last thing that happened where I was like, okay, alright, whatever, that's cool, is when Simon and Richter got added to Smash. And really, again, that was really not anything on their part development-wise. That was just them giving the thumbs up to say, okay, we'll allow this. So it was the most non-effort thing for them to do, but still, I mean... It's good to know that it sounds like there are people there who care. Ah, I was just talking about you, talking about Konami and stuff, and about the new, or not new, but the remake of Metal Gear coming out. Metal Gear... Snake Eater. I don't know why that, like, took me a bajillion years for my brain to process that, but yes. Wait, what? Oh, you don't know the state of play that happened today? Yeah, you can go watch that. There's a teaser for it right now. I don't think it's coming out till 2024, but... I'm behind. I mean, it did also air while I was at work too, but I just so happened to have somebody's Twitch stream open who was like co-streaming it. So I got to catch a couple things, and then once I got home, I basically, like, my social media was all just like, oh, all this gaming news. Okay, gamers, put on your big boy pants. Got a lot of news to run through. And again, really the only game that I saw a lot of gameplay of was Spider-Man 2, and it looks awesome. I want to play it. The problem is again, I haven't played the first. I haven't played that, and I haven't played Miles Morales, and I really should play both. And I don't need to skip one or the other. I should just have both of them played. Thank you for the heads up. Been playing the 6.4 patch. That makes a whole lot of sense. I've also been seeing people on my feed stream that. But yeah, I think they also had like a good sizzle reel for FF16. That game's shaping up to look pretty good. Of course, hopefully you've been enjoying the Final Fantasy XIV. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's really another game there. At least, like, exclusive, right? That kind of made an impression on me, because Plucky Squire still looks like an absolutely amazing game. The only issue is that, like, that's definitely not going to be a first party. We even saw as much, I think, Xbox made, like, not like a counter tweet, right? But they just kind of, like, jokingly said, like, oh yeah, look what all these great games that were announced today. And then they, like, had a thing that said, all coming to Xbox. Not every game they announced, you know, but all of, like, the games that they showed for a list were coming to Xbox. And I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. Plucky Squire was on there. And I'm trying to remember... I know absolutely nothing about Ghost Runner, but Ghost Runner 2 had a really cool trailer. And, there was a lot of other stuff, especially for, like, indie games and things like that. I'm trying to think if there really was, like, a big new announcement besides, like, more of Spider-Man 2. Because I'm not really sure there was. At least for, like, stuff that we know that would be coming later this year. For sure. Because again, I don't think the Metal Gear game said it was coming out until 2024. So. Anything Silent Hill? Nope, unfortunately not. I didn't see anything. I don't know. There might have been a small drop or teaser. But I have not watched the whole thing. I still need to. I've really only piecemealed a bunch of stuff that was delivered, like, on social media, and then again, a little bit of the stuff I saw at the end. One thing I will mention, again, while you're here, is that they basically have a portable system now, that is very, to me, pretty obviously trying to, mimic the Switch, or at least become, like, a portable handheld for PlayStation systems, which is, you know, hilarious because they already have the PlayStation Portable. But anyways, it is streaming only, and that is so underwhelming. It is so unbelievably underwhelming. What am I throwing this at? I feel like it's very obvious I need to grab this beam, but when do I throw this beam? Are there other parts to this level I can explore, or... What are we doing here? I'm actually, like, flabbergasted. What do I do? I guess it was there when he had, like, his opening after his big slash? Yep, sure enough. Like, I'm trying to find the opening that he has. Okay, is he gonna do a twofer or is he gonna fly at me? Twofer? Big one. Okay, should do a dash now. Or he's doing this again. Okay, sir, I need you to do not these patterns. Also, that was really fast. I'm gonna need you to not do that either. Go. Okay. Awful sword. Oh god. What? Did I just pick a god and pray? What? What was the move there? Oh my gosh, I'm losing everything. Ugh. Meta Knight, you're being a heckin' rude. Okay. Yeah, no way. He's also not throwing the projectiles at all either. He's doing this nonsense, and I literally cannot. I have no idea how I'm supposed to avoid that. It's just, if I'm caught in it, oh well, bro. Nice knowing ya, I guess. Okay, get over here. I need to teach you some manners! Oh. Gonna lurk a few while I get ready for bed. Love you too. Good night, night. Oh, fine. Okay, I got that, and I got hit anyways, so that didn't give me it, unfortunately. Ooh, I just barely got the Sigrid. Oops. Put my earpiece out.
We did it! We got the magic yarn!
That's how they're
The
looking
magic
up at
yarn
it.
shimmered and spiraled and swirled high into the sky.
Alright, yeah, we should definitely be able to wrap this up.
And Patchland was stitched back together thanks to Kirby and Prince Fluff.
We did it! Yeah, we did it!
Thanks, Kirby. I couldn't have done it without your help. Kirby and Prince Fluff jumped for joy, but their celebration was cut short when Meta Knight awoke. Kirby, forgive me. I blame the yarn. Meta Knight explained to Kirby that Yin Yarn was taking over Dreamland. This upset Kirby. He had no idea how to get back
Michael's
to Dreamland.
Michael's favorite line.
I've got it, Fluff
There's a
declared.
pipe bomb in your mailbox. This
Prince
upset
Fluff
Kirby.
pulled out a sock just like the one Yin Yarn had stolen from Patch Castle. Socks always come in pairs, and now that Patchland was stitched back together, the other sock's magic had been restored.
Okay.
Be careful, Kirby.
Very-
Yin Yarn is one mean piece of string. He'll be fine.
Convenient, but
After all, I'm going with him, Fluff
Yeah.
said. And they all set out for Dreamland to button up Yin Yarn's story once and for all.
Oh, King Day 2 days coming too. We'll see if he got on left. Hey, I almost got that. Just intercepted that mid-air. Yes, I love Kirby's Dream Land. Exactly. I mean, honestly, like, even with, like, this, like, going back to kind of the sequel idea, they do seem, like, very aware of, like, you know, how they could, like, make an aesthetic Kirby game that's more akin to the actual theming of the original. Which is not to say, like, you know, Ice World and Fire World and, you know, those things are definitely, like, very traditional in Kirby too, just having a bunch of elemental, like, different worlds to go through for the platformer. But, like, keeping, like, the liveliness and everything of Kirby. Definitely present here. Don't know if they let me grab those. About to find out. I don't think so because it wasn't necessary. So. Apple table. Did that just say beware if you're allergic? Okay, that was a little dark. But yeah, if you're allergic to apples, that would be very unfortunate. I'm a platforming god? Also, like, not acknowledge the, like, 5 times I messed up of my own accord. Oh, right. Oh, I have to jump off out of the guy's head. Whatever. We got more than enough stuff. Yeah, come on. Oh! Well, the other ones are probably going to be gone, but that's fine. Still got gold, we're good. Oh, do bounce. Oh, we back in the giant mech. You bears gotta chill. Yeah, hit you twice. Well, multiple times, actually. It seems like it was even more than that. Completely not essential, but I wanted the star thing anyways. Alright, Wispy Woods, I'm coming. Kirby is so angry! When he shoots, he gets the angry eyes. Alright. Not bad. Got a crank handle. Oh! Alright. Seems a little less organic than some of the other ones we've seen before, but alright. That'll do. I genuinely love Pin the Reporter. Oh! We're talking about Zelda. Okay. I'm like, wow, that name seems to kind of ring a bell for some reason. I wonder what... I would also agree. Okay, we're fine. Yes, I had to once again acquire the brain cells for a second. Oh, well, very convenient. I actually haven't completely finished out that stuff, even though I'm definitely far enough in the game where I could. Without, like, too much scuffle. Okay. I was thinking that was a platform, but really was not certain, because I mean, it is literally just like a flag. I'm about to smash that man. All I was trying to do was take a nap. The rock. Oh, the wind's gonna be blowing that way. Oh, I got stuff right now. You don't have enough speed for that jump. I still haven't touched the 4 main areas. I mean, there is literally so much to do without you doing a bunch of it. There's some, and again, I will not spoil anything in this game, because again, exploration is the most key point of it, and there's just like that discovery is the magic for the game. It was the magic for this game, or it was the magic for Breath of the Wild, and it was certainly the magic for this game as well. There are so many things I've come across, whether they be references or just other things, and I'm just like, oh my god, like, I genuinely wonder, like, if like, my friends have seen this before. And, you know, some of them will be pretty, like, ahead in, more ways than one. Wink, 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 no, nudge, nudge. One of my friends may have procured the game early. What I'm saying is that, like, I do still wonder to myself, it's like, oh, like, you know, obviously they've had the while they play the game, but I really do wonder if they've, like, come across this before. There's just literally so much. Also, I think I'm dropping frames, which is unfortunate. So much delight every time, yes. And of the pin side quests that I have done, all of them have been pretty funny. Very comedic in one way or another. Very likable character, for sure. I was going to say that level was short, but I definitely did not spend, like, any time trying to go for the secrets, so I didn't even get a gold medal on that one, so there you go. Case in point. I literally saw, it was like, okay, we're going up. Gotcha. I understand the objective. But yeah. Pin is a really cool character. Again, really don't want to talk about, like, things that would definitely be spoiler-oriented, but, one of the sages, which I feel like that's a pretty safe thing to say. One of the sages is a really cool character. I do like them a lot. And just kind of like their personality-wise and stuff like that. And then the power they give you after, like, helping them in their territory is freaking, well, not broken, but it's so helpful. So immensely helpful. Cloud Rug. There's probably a secret thing up there, but I'm moving on. Favorite part is definitely not throwing people into the water. Okay. Oh, okay, Kracko, you're just here now. Freaking Kracko jump scare, everybody. Alright. You gonna stop? You gonna stop? I wanted to go back for that treasure. Cracker literally just said, no, you chose violence. If you know, you know. And again, not trying to like spoil anything, so I won't go into too much detail about it. But I was watching Fire Dragon's playthrough, and obviously, like, I'm still pretty early playing the game, so like, there's gonna be a lot of stuff like even I myself I'm not going to catch right away, things like that. But he got like he was playing a mini game in the game that I have not come across yet. And you know, it's not one of those things where it's like, oh, I'm actively looking for it. Like, I think it's going to be like something that has a super essential award at the end of it. But even still, I'm just like, where in the heck did he find this person to like start this like, what seems like a multi-side quest thing? It's just so crazy how much stuff is in the game. And I have to assume, like, this is also how, like, people felt about, Elden Ring when that came out. Because there are just, like, so many things to explore and find and do. Like, comparing your playthrough to other people's is probably, like, one of the main draws just because of how much unique content there is. And, you know, despite most of it being non-essential, it still just kind of shows you, like, how big the world is. Put into perspective. I can do this. Believe in myself. Oh, the disc was down there, man. I regret that. I don't think the way we were there before the final trailer came out. I mean, I can't really blame them because Nintendo was just not like delivering anything to us. Like everything that we saw was like basically just kind of assumptions about like what we thought was going to be in the game, what might return, all of this stuff. But I think I felt, you know, like granted, again, I'm not a big Splatooner like some of y'all other folks. I feel like that is a fair statement to say. I'd say, like, you know, despite my hype level not being as high for Splatoon 3, I did feel like the exact same way going into that game for Splatoon 3. Was like, we know that it exists, and we've gotten some, like, teasers and stuff to gameplay, but, like, there's actually nothing that's really convincing me to, like, buy the game. Like, that it will be worth the wait. But, You know, by the end of that, they always show, like, their big sizzle reel and stuff, and they're like, here's all the new features and stuff, and here's the main story and all the cool things you can do, so. But with Tears of the Kingdom, that was, like, even more so. Because while we got, like, some really small, like, gameplay snippets, it wasn't until, like, 2 months before the game came out where we were like, oh, like, this is the game. Like, we can literally see it now. We don't just have to, like, speculate as to what the mechanics are and what these, or how the story play out. I think I was more excited because I didn't get Splatoon 2 until 2 years later. That's fair. I feel like that could have something to do with it, partially. But either way, like, still. Oh, you had the thing. I thought I needed to, like, curl one up and then bring it over to this portrait. Apparently not. I didn't need to do that. What I need is patience! But yeah, I think that, again, I would have not said before that Breath of the Wild was probably in my top 5 Zelda games. And I don't even say that as a subjective thing. Like, just in my opinion, I did not enjoy it as much as the other Zelda games. Traditional Zelda games, as it were. But, man, this one makes a good case for itself. My god. I am trying to get you in a yarn ball so that way I can throw it at this other guy. Thank you. That blocked my stupid thing. Get out of here, you nerd. Yeah. I prefer the Breath of the Wild style vastly more than traditional Zelda. I don't know if that's a minority anymore. Or not even anymore. Like, when Breath of the Wild came out, I think people... Because, see, the funny thing is like, that... Breath of the Wild was so much like the original Zelda, as opposed to, like, actual modern Zelda. Where, you know, Zelda tends to have some linearity to it, but, you know, there's a lot of focus on, like, puzzle elements in, like, very concentrated areas, aka dungeons. And technically, both Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom has that, but they just deliver that experience in different ways. And Tears of the Kingdom does it way better. So much better, like, oh my god. But I definitely think that there is a party for each. I just can't say with certainty that that the original Breath of the Wild was like a minority decision. Because I mean, the thing is that so many like general audiences as well just enjoyed that style of Zelda gameplay. It's actually good, because I needed the damage boost so that way I can gather some of this back. Blessing in disguise. I hate feeling dumb in traditional Zelda dungeons remind me of that every time. Oh, don't get me wrong, shrines can still do that too, but yeah, traditional Zelda dungeons do always have like that one puzzle where it's like, what the heck am I doing? And I've only had one shrine in this game that truly stumped me. And it's you know, obviously I'm gonna talk about Fire Dragon. Obviously, I find it hilarious because I was not the only person who had this issue. Not only did he have this issue, but like 10 other people, like I could say for sure in chat, was like, yes, this was like the exact same problem I had with this. And I was like, thank you. I feel justified in feeling like this puzzle wasn't really a puzzle at all. It was like more so a lack of information. Which again, I'm, you know, still trying to be pretty vague as to what, like, that would refer to, but... Which one? All I'll say is, like, there's a hammer and a ball involved. I remember that one, yeah. I don't remember the name of the shrine. I actually also don't remember where exactly it was located. But I'm pretty sure Fire Dragon spent like over an hour on that level. Literally because he just did not have a piece of information. Like that was it. He wasn't like doing anything like necessarily wrong. Some of the solutions he tried to come up with seemed like they would work, but just the way that the shrine was just like very leaning towards like this is the solution when it was hard to come across the solution in the first place. There are a bunch of swinging based shrines, so I don't remember. Like, yeah, it's specifically like there's a mechanism where it's got the like shape of a hammer, and then like, but to, you know, finish it, you have to attach a okay, well, I don't think I'm gonna be able to get that because I can't get up to those guys, so that's fine. But it's literally like a mechanism that is supposed to be very obviously a hammer, but you have to like attach things to it to make it a hammer. My issue was figuring out how to utilize the hammer, I guess, is the, again, a easy way of saying it without, like, totally spoiling what the point of the shrine was. Specifically a hammer, not a baseball bat. Yes, it is like a hammer. Now, granted, it is a lot like a, I suppose it's treated kind of like baseball. Like, the way that the thing swings is literally like a horizontal swing. It's not like a vertical swing, like a pendulum. But yeah, I mean, that shrine was not difficult. It was literally just a key piece of information that, had you not come across it before, you would never know. Like, actually never suspect. Can you DM me the shrine real quick? I want to know if I've done that one. I'll have to figure it out. Because again, I don't remember the name of it. I don't remember the name of it. I don't remember where it's located. I'm sure if I, like, took out my Switch, looked at the map, and then found, like, the name of it by hovering over it, I would remember. But I just don't. But again, I'm just assuming this is the baseball one y'all are talking about. This could be a completely different one. Also, obviously, needless to say, even though it is over 2 hours, we're gonna go ahead and do the final boss. No reason for us not to. We're like right at the end, so. But I really only have the one gripe with that shrine. And there are some where it's like, yeah, I actually do need like a couple of minutes to like come up with a solution as opposed to just like brute force go straight through it. It was easier, just bad. Look who showed up to the party and decided to finally show up just to tell me I'm bad at video games. Oh, what else is new? Anyways, hi, hopefully you had a good day today. I think it actually wants me to specifically unravel the dude. Just trying to hit him. Oh, can I not, like, grab that? No. Answer is no. Yeah, I was about to say, I think I need to be up there. I mean, when I saw Cameroon, I was like, I kind of think that that's what it was, but anyways. Oh, he's created laser! Oh, his water. Get him out of here! Hello. Oh. No! I just barely missed that. Oh! Got him! Did not take that into account, so... Oh. But I can't hit these guys. This is cheating. Oh god. Oh, he's dead? No, wait, that's not it. Okay, that's what I was about to say. No, there's definitely like a second phase of this fight. Because I'm remembering something different. Verify the shrine. I don't know what it's called. I don't remember the name of it. I just know that they said, oh, that's a baseball. And I said, okay, yeah, I guess it was like pretty close to baseball. Oh, Yellow sent a picture. Oh, well, you have to wait. I'm in a boss. I'm on the final boss. Back off, Jack. Oh, man. Dipping the frame rate. I have lights. Just a couple frame drops in that. If you're a gamer, you can do it now? No. How about y'all just have some patience? We yoke those guys out of existence. What's patience? What you're testing for me right now.
With the Yin Yarn spell broken,
Born I canceled.
Dreamland returned to its normal
I don't want to
state
hear that.
of
I've
peace
already.
and quiet. Well, I guess this is goodbye, Fluff said. It made Kirby sad to see his new friend leave.
He didn't get canceled for that. Not just
Buck
reading
up,
a
Kirby.
message.
As long as you have this magic sock, you can visit
I didn't
me
say I was
anytime.
going to ignore it.
Until then, Fluff
I said
he should
I'm
return to that
busy.
planet. And that's the story of how
You're making
Kirby
me all
and
riled
Prince
up
Fluff
during this
defeated
very
Yin
touching
Yarn the
credit
Sorcerer
sequence. We're
and
never going to
restored
see our
peace to
friend ever
Dreamland.
again. He went into a sock. You guys, are you guys' heartstrings not tugged at? You guys have no hearts? Okay, step credits. Alright, now I have the time to allow for it. Yes, this is the shrine, for sure. Because I even see, like, the secondary objective in the background. That is definitely the shrine. Yes. Yes, it is definitely the shrine. You cheese that one somehow? Okay. This is the first ever shrine. Yes, Empress, I am bad. That is correct. However, that was the first instance. How did you find? Oh, so you didn't even find it out the right way? Okay, anyways. First instance of finding one of those pillars that is interactable. I think it's like glowing yellow, and then when you hit it, it glows green and it does a thing. Cool. They, in any of the tutorial areas in like the beginning section of the game, they don't show you that at all. They don't show that, oh, this is a thing that you can think. I swore that it was literally just an aesthetic thing. And then I went over and I'm like, this is like the only thing I haven't tried swiping at with a sword or a bow and arrow or anything. And what it did is it went from like facing this way to facing that way. And I'm like, the stakes, no, not the stakes. Not the stakes, the little glowing pillar, not the green stakes. There's like a yellow pillar that's like just Like, imagine you're like the umpire, like in an umpire's position and like the bat's in front of you. No, that switch was back in like the umpire's position on like a slightly raised platform. And all you basically do is after you put like you basically attach the bat to the thing, you hit that to activate it when the ball rolls towards you. It literally does not know. You have no way of knowing that thing is interactable unless you just do it. Yes, it's the switch. There's nothing in the tutorial area that says like, oh, this is a switch. It just looks like a thing that's sitting there. It's like, oh yeah, that looks like something that's part of the environment. Switches were in Breath of the Wild. They didn't look like that. They looked similar, but they didn't look like that. Also, you have to remember, when was the last time I played Breath of the Wild?
The next day, Kirby fell asleep in some shade. He dozed happily with wonderful dreams.
You notice that right away? Okay, y'all are all doing the up arrow. There were like 20 other people in Fire Dragon stream who said the exact same thing. That the only reason it took them so long was because they didn't know that was a switch, because that was the first occurrence of them seeing one. Well, they're dumb too. They had the freaking... If I had the no content, if I had the no filter stream on right now, I'd be saying some very rude words right now. Some of y'all. Alright. You know what you did. Anyways. Again, y'all making me riled up in literally the most chill Kirby game known to man. They're trying to throw hands! I thought you positioned the pegs like a pachinko machine. No, and I mean, I tried that too. I was literally like, okay, let me just like make a really long platform, and then I'll like just chuck the thing at it, and it'll work. And I mean, I was getting close, but I was literally just like, I was 10 minutes in or something, and I'm like, bro, dude, there has to be, like, this cannot be the solution. And I'm pretty sure, almost certain, it's in that same one. They show like the same mechanism. So like the thing that's in the middle that you use to like do the flip, I knew that was the thing I needed to use for the hammer. What I didn't know is how to activate it, because I think there's a platform that you even see like earlier on in the level. And it's a thing, and then it like turns and it has a stake put in it, and there's a platform attached to it. I'm like, okay, very obvious. Yes, thank you. Now how do I get it to work? And apparently I was not the only one who is stupid, corneal, or just rude. Anyways, whatever. I just spoil a whole game for y'all right now. Who'd be laughing now? Anyways, I'll just go ahead and wrap things up, obviously, a little over time, which is fine. Glad that we got to wrap up this game. I still really enjoy Kirby's Epic Yarn. Again, apparently this is still a divisive game. To me, like, yeah, the flaws are definitely that the game's too easy, but I don't see that as a downside. I just see that as, oh, this is a quirk of the game. If you were looking for an incredibly hard game, I don't know why you went to Kirby in the first place. And yes, this is like essential baby game, but I think that there's a place for games like that, especially Kirby being one of those like pretty, I'd say like an icon for a family-friendly game that anybody would be capable of playing. And this is definitely one of those. Like, they succeeded with that. You know, it ruffled a few feathers in that case, but I think they completely succeeded in one that they wanted to do. And I still think it's a great game, so. Don't worry, there are other rude shrines, and I couldn't figure them out on my own. Again, it is so, again, like y'all said, it's pretty disappointing that's like the only thing so far that's like really stumped me. was literally just like, oh, okay, I was missing a piece of information. That was it. I have not come across one other shrine where I was not able to solve either the intended way or some other way that surely I was just like, okay, well, I'm just gonna do this instead and won't beat it. Wait, beat it, Brent. Again, I had more brain cells. That's fine. You don't know. You weren't gonna watch her. You're occupied with what is it? Drops of the Dynasty. Thank you. Anyways, I'm gonna end stream. Did you enjoy Kirby? Yes. Like I said, I still enjoy this game. Again, I don't think it's the best Kirby game in the series, but it's good. Let me go and do my special thank yous, which I'm pretty sure are all Chris. Pretty sure. So thank you to Chris for 10. Oh, no. Yellow put it in a prime earlier, too. That's right. Because having 43 years is a heck of a long time. Thank you, Yellow, for the Subarino with Prime. Hopefully you had yourself a good one tonight. And of course, thank you to Chris for 10 gifties. For some reason, I didn't do anything special. I'm literally just sitting here on my butt playing some Kirby, but I do really appreciate it. Hopefully, once again, you had a good day. You had a good night. If you're lurking, hopefully you enjoyed that lurk. And really do appreciate it, my man. Thank you so much. And then as for my regular thank yous, thank you to... oh, well, let me fix that really quick. Make sure it's not going to go to sleep. Thank you, Yellow, for coming by. Thank you to Chris for coming by. Thank you to Josh for coming by. Thank you to Pixie for coming by. Thank you to Empress for coming by. Thank you to Lando for coming by. Lando actually stopped by earlier on in stream. Thank you to Avatar for coming by. Thank you to Michael for coming by. Thank you to Taylor for coming by. I'm sure you were just lurking a little bit, but that's also completely fine. I got Pixie, and I think that might actually be it. I actually feel fairly confident about that tonight. I normally don't. And Josh, I'll answer the question in a second because, you know, I always address that when I do my, when I wrap everything up. So if I did not thank you, I do very much apologize. Hopefully you still enjoyed the stream. If you're lurking, hopefully you enjoy the lurk, and hope everybody has a fantastic night or day, wherever you may be. I will be back to stream on Friday, and I will be starting Kirby Mass Attack for the DS. A game that I'm sure most people don't remember. That game, like, came and went with, like, zero fanfare. But, I remember the music being pretty good. Besides that, I'm like... But, enjoy the light banter. Oh, yeah, of course. It's always fun. Josh, of course, hopefully you have a good night. Empress, hopefully you have a good night. Yellow. Thank you for sticking around. Avatar, thank you for sticking around. Hopefully both of y'all have good nights as well. Let me check, see if there's somebody I want to raid. We shall see. Shimo's doing actually a stream right now. We can do a raid with Shimo. Oh, thank you, Josh. So what happened is I tried looking at it on my Amazon, and I remembered that it was a gift for me. So it's not going to be on my Amazon, it's going to be on my parents. But I think that's still recent enough that if they looked up Pinboard, they would still get a result that says, oh, you ordered this item last. So I think that's all we really need to do. I think it's... Yes. I got it. Cool. I don't know why I thought there was two eyes in Shimo. No worries whenever you get a chance. Yeah. And honestly, yeah, I let that drop. So thank you for reminding me, though. Like, actually, thank you for reminding me. So we're just going to throw some viewer Shima's way. I'm not sure if she's going to be streaming much longer, but still show some support if you would like. I'll just go ahead and wrap things up. If you're going to bed, please have yourself a good rest tonight. Have yourself a good day tomorrow. And if you're not going to bed, just relax, take care, and until I see y'all next time, bye-bye.